All right. It's May 1st, 2014, and so I think I want to dedicate this as my May Day speech for the people. And I think this is my love offering called Egolessness in the Santosha State. And it was my attempt initially to explain Not to His Peace to Swaybone and the people interested in Swaybone, and say that, well, what is Not to His Peace? For me, Not to His Peace means and states that all divisions between humans are false. And that humans in actuality exist in a state of prior unity. And because of this, all of humanity and all of Earthkind are one family. And as this one family of Earthkind, we have the right and the obligation to create the means of global cooperative self-governance. And that the specific form that this new representative body will take is revealed in the book Not to His Peace by Adida. And the specific means to enable and express and incarnate global cooperative self-governance for all of humanity and all of Earthkind is the Global Cooperative Forum, as described by Adida in Not to His Peace. And today I want to put forth to you on May Day 2014 that, in fact, what we're seeing, what we're experiencing, is the development of a new kind of state, a new kind of governance, a new form of institutional governance. And I'm calling it right now the Santosha State, because Santosha means ultimate fulfillment, ultimate completion, ultimate happiness, ultimate freedom. And non-seeking or searchlessness too. And how wonderful this vision of the Santosha State. And one of the wonderful things about the Santosha State, which is just another way of saying the Global Cooperative Forum, is that, in my understanding and feeling right now, it would represent two things: the fulfillment and completion of the originating ideals of American democracy, of liberty and freedom, and the pursuit of happiness. So the Santosha State would actually represent the fulfillment and completion of the originating ideals of American democracy. And two, it would represent, the Santosha State would represent, the resolution of the age-old polarization and opposition between the conservative principle and the radical principle. And that what we'll see in the Santosha State, in fact, is the rehabilitation and restoration of the true conservative principle, and the restoration and rehabilitation of the true radical principle. For example, some people have said, Theo, you're such a a renegade, you're such a rebel and all that. And I always say no, 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 no. I am not. In my heart of hearts, I'm a conservative. Because I'm conservative of the new civilization. That's what I want to conserve and protect, and is the culture of one human family and all of Earthkind. And this new paradigm, which is that all divisions between people are false. So once again, here is a bold vision. This is the happiest thing, and I wanted to say happy for May Day 2014 is the Santosha State, i.e. the Global Cooperative Forum, has the potential, and in this vision, in fact, already, in a sense, has fulfilled a resolution of two primary issues. One is that it would resolve the issue of the constant age-old polarization and conflict between radical and conservative. And I'll go more into detail what I mean by true conservative and what I mean by true radical. On the one hand, and it would fulfill the originating ideals of the American democratic experiment, which are liberty and freedom, and the pursuit of happiness. And why is this? Okay, here's the thing, folks. The new politics of the new civilization include this principle of egolessness. And what is egolessness? Well, you could describe it in many ways, but it means a fundamental liberation from the primary source of oppression. Now, it's been a great concern of freedom-loving peoples to overcome oppression and tyranny, enslavement, and any form of arbitrary limits on human liberty. But egolessness is in the new politics answers this age-old concern for how do we achieve liberation from tyranny? How do we achieve freedom in the sense that it's been pursued in the democratic experiment in America? Well, that is answered by egolessness, because ego, the self-contraction in every individual human body-mind, is the source, the ultimate source of all oppression, tyranny, unhappiness, cruelty, injustice, murder, mayhem, deliberate harm, malice, cruelty. All the faults and sins of the human being are sourced by the fundamental act of egoity. And egolessness directly addresses the core root problem of ego that's at the source of all political problems in our human world. Ego is. And therefore the new politics finally gives the true and real answer to what is and has been the ongoing root source of all warfare, all violence, cruelty, oppression, tyranny, genocide, and slavery has been sourced by the root act of egoity. Egolessness, as described in Adida's book, Not to His Peace, is the resolution, the true resolution at the root of the problem of humanity. And the problem of humanity is ego. So, by enabling true egolessness, both individually and collectively, the book Not to His Peace and the Global Cooperative Forum that it describes will enable humans, both individually and collectively, to stop doing the core act of egoity and instead do the act of cooperation and tolerance. Pretty straightforward, huh? And so this is wonderful news. I don't expect you to totally understand this yet or to even believe this or anything like that. Obviously, I'm pointing you toward the book, not to his piece, but I'm also trying to give people who have read the book and who have some grounding in these matters to understand my vision for this greater framework of what we can do and what we should do and what I think is already happening, which is that there's an emerging Santosha State, also known as the Global Cooperative Forum, which represents a resolution, a final and ultimate fulfillment and completion of the great American democratic experiment. But it's, of course, applied globally, and really, ultimately, it's going to be applied to the entire cosmic domain. So the Global Cooperative Forum is ultimately going to be the post-galactic or cosmic domain cooperative forum. Literally including everything, everywhere, all dimensions, all beings, in the same non-divisive, cooperative, tolerant, and fully inclusive means of cooperative self-governance for all. Okay, so I'm beginning to develop this thesis of how egolessness addresses the aspiration in American originating ideals towards liberty and freedom, because what are we achieving liberty and freedom from? Well, we need liberty and freedom from any and all tyranny and oppression. And we need to find out what the ultimate source of tyranny and oppression are and then get free from that. And so I state for you now, the ultimate source of all tyranny and oppression is what you are doing right now as ego. And what we are doing collectively right now as ego culture. That's the source of all the problems, all of the unhappiness and suffering, all of the misunderstanding, non-cooperation, divisiveness, stupidity, and repression, suppression, and oppression. All the sins of humanity are sourced by this root action of egoity in the individual and in the collective. And what we're here to do is stop the ego culture in its tracks. But, as I said, I feel that I'm the true conservative because what I'm conserving is the new civilization, not the dead civilization, but conserving the new civilization. I'm very conservative of that because that new civilization is the one which provides true sustainability, a greater chance of survival for everybody all at once, a greater chance for the radiance, happiness, and true liberation of everybody all at once. And that's what I'm saying personally, is this vision I'm having of the book Not to His Peace and the Global Cooperative Forum as a means not just to save the world, which it is, and the only one. It's the only plan that we've got to save the world. And it's also a cultural means for literally everybody all at once and all the ordinary beings on this planet to realize the Santosha State, which is egolessness, which is radiance without the self-contraction, relationalness in all directions without the self-contraction, cooperation and tolerance and peace without the self-contraction. The Santosha State represents equanimity as a political reality, as a political, in a sense, means. Because you can never serve so well as when you yourself have realized egolessness and equanimity. So this is the politics of equanimity. This is the politics of fulfillment in the ultimate sense. This is the politics of completion in the ultimate sense. That's what Santosha means. Ultimate fulfillment, ultimate completion, ultimate searchlessness, ultimate happiness. Isn't that an amazing idea? That the new politics and the new civilization would be about ultimate happiness, ultimate completion, and ultimate fulfillment, and radiance for ordinary people? A politics of radiance and fulfillment and no seeking? To me, this is the vision of the Santosha State. I'm not anti-state. I see a great vision for the state. A true vision of the state. And here's the next piece. The state is riven with the divisions between conservative and radical. This is a false division based on ego. Ego always sows division. Ego is itself the feeling of being separate, therefore can only project separateness, division, conflict, competition, unhappiness and stress and distress wherever it goes and whatever it does. Even its high-minded and well-intentioned idealistic things that the ego is doing are still causing more harm than good because they're transmitting the faulty idea of separateness. Only the new civilization and the Global Cooperative Forum enable a true global culture of non-divisiveness, of egolessness, not two. And in this vision that I'm having, I feel that the Global Cooperative Forum and the Santosha State will represent the ultimate resolution of the age-old problem of the division and conflict between conservative and radical. And what would that mean? That there would be emerging what we would call a true radical politics on the one hand and a true conservative politics on the other. And if you want to figure out what the true conservative politics is, I'm only just beginning to discover that. And if you want to know what the true radical politics is, I'm only beginning to discover that. But what I do know is that they are complementary and partnered like a balance between male and female. There's a perfect balance like Shiva and Parvati. There's a perfect balance between the male and female principle, and there's a perfect balance in politics between true conservatism and true radicalism. And I'm here to tell you now, that is the Santosha State.